Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Work-Life Harmony. Today, I want to talk about a topic. It's been kind of mulling in the back of my head for several weeks now, and it really came to fruition on a group coaching call I was having with all of the top program graduates that are in the membership community with me. And I was going through a live demo of weekly planning, which I do every month in that group. And when I go through that process, I bring up like all the tools that I use. I really take people behind the scenes, like real world, here's how I'm laying out my plan for next week. And one of the things that I teach inside my top program and that I use all the time is the importance of having kind of what your weekly checklist is. And by this, I just mean a list. I like to use Trello for mine, where I keep a list of all the things that I know I want to get done on a weekly basis. Now, here's what's interesting with this list. It's just a list of things. There's no dates next to it, just things. So for example, I know I want to, make sure I have a podcast like this ready to go every single week. There are a number of tasks in both my personal life, family life, and business that I just need to make sure I accommodate and prioritize time for every single week. And when I was giving this demo, one of the women in the group had this big aha moment where she was realizing that she had been trying to create, her version of a weekly list, but was doing it in a way where it was like, hey, every Monday, I'm going to do these three things. Every Tuesday, I'm going to do these, and really kind of confining it and time boxing it into specific days. And was recognizing that it was feeling very hard, very constricting. And by taking that step back and saying, hey, each week I want to make sure I get these things done, but I'm not going to make that commitment ahead of time of which day until I sit down to do the weekly planning, that was a real win for her. And I've been mulling over this for a while because, as you know, I'm a consumer of anything I can read, listen to, whatever, to really stay on top of any new trends, systems, tools, processes, all of that around time management and productivity. I'm all in. And I noticed, and I think back to times in my life where a lot of the information that I see out there really encourages people from a productivity perspective to have set days of the week where they are going to commit to doing specific things. I even see this with people who set up house cleaning schedules, like maybe Monday is bathroom day and Tuesday is vacuuming or whatever. But what I also see happening on the backside is so many people lay out a great plan. They go and execute it for one, if they're lucky, 2 weeks. And then by week 3, something happens that derails whatever their plan was for Monday. Now has a domino effect on the whole rest of the week. And so what do? They kind of throw the towel in and say, see, planning doesn't work. Planning doesn't work because it's too rigid, it's too structured. And this all falls under often the guise of consistency, because I hear this. I mean, this is a word people use all the time, the importance of being consistent, the importance of being consistent. But here's what I really want you to start thinking about in your life is consistent does not have to mean the same thing at the same time every day, every week, every month. For some reason, we as a society, particularly women, particularly if you're juggling a lot of hats, we think that being consistent means we need to set up a repeatable schedule down to at this time every Monday, I do X, at this time every Tuesday, I do Y. That is not what consistency means. Consistency simply means that you are making a commitment to do whatever it is that you want to do at whatever regularity you define. So for some people, consistency might be, I'm going to exercise 3 times a week for 30 minutes. That is a lot easier to fit into your crazy life than to say, I am going to run for 30 minutes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning at 7 a.m. And then on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., I'm going to do this. Because guess what? Let's say you wake up on a Monday morning, it's pouring rain, or Sunday night, your kid's gotten you up 6 times through the night. Maybe you really just need that extra 35 minutes of sleep instead of getting up and going for a run. Then you don't go for your run, and now you feel like a failure because you dropped the consistency ball. So if this is anything that you can relate to, I want you to think about what you can create in your life. And I'm going to bring it back to the example that I shared with my checklist. I have a checklist of things that I want to make sure get done every single week. And when I sit down and do my weekly planning on Sundays, which again, 99% of the time it's on Sundays, but once in a while it can't happen on Sunday due to who knows what. But when I sit down to do my weekly planning, I pull up that weekly checklist and I give myself the freedom and flexibility each and every week to decide when each of the items on that list is actually going to get prioritized on my calendar. Now, I did years ago, I was in a coaching program, and the woman running that specific program was really adamant, particularly for those, all of us in it were running businesses, on defining, setting up set times every week to get into that rhythm and that habit. And I even tried saying, okay, I am going to, post out that I will be, doing a live training every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. And then every single Thursday, I'm going to record a podcast. And then every Friday, I'm going to do this. And I did it for the first week. And then week number 2, all of a sudden, the time slot opens up where I'm supposed to be, this is the time I sit down and go live. And guess what happened? The internet was down. So here I am, it's already week 2. I've made this big announcement. I'm going to be going live at 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. The internet's down. I can't go live. Then the next week, on that exact same day, happened to be a day my daughter woke up and wasn't feeling well and was at home and needing me. She legit wasn't feeling well. It was not one of the fake ones. So again, I was pulled away that Wednesday morning, and I began to feel like a failure. I was like, man, what's wrong with me? I'm never going to be able to show up the way other people are, because my life is one where I can't make that kind of a commitment to say, I can do this exact thing at this exact time every single week. Well, that's when I realized that style of consistency to helping you with streamline and productivity, it may work for some people, but I had to give myself the grace to say, that is just not going to work in my life. I don't have a lifestyle right now that allows me to create that level of structure in my calendar, because every week different things are constantly popping up. A child is sick. It is the half day from school with early pickup. It is the 3 days that my husband is gone on a trip. It is the morning that you wake up and the dog has stomach problems and you need to take him to the vet. It's the day the internet's not working very well. It's the day your microphone breaks. It's a million different things. So if you are feeling like, you can't move to the next level of productivity, of organization, of commitment, of consistency, I want you to rethink what your definition of consistency is going to be for you. Now I actually can say, yeah, I'm going to go in and do my live training every week, but I don't say what time it is. I've tried to make the commitment to say it's going to be every Wednesday. And for those of you in my Work-Life Harmony open Facebook community, most of the time I do show up in there on Wednesdays. But I've also given myself the grace to say, if it's a Wednesday where it's just not going to happen, I'm going to let people know it's not going to happen on Wednesday that week, and I'll tell them what day it will. So I still have my weekly checklist. I look at it every Sunday night. And most of the time, everything on that list gets done every week. but it never looks the same way. But do I consider myself consistent? Heck yes, because I've made the commitments to myself of what I want to do on either a daily, a weekly, or monthly basis. But I've given myself the freedom and flexibility to define what and how that looks like every single week. So you guys know I love the saying structure creates freedom. I say it all the time, but I want you to understand that structure does not have to mean every single Tuesday at 9 a.m. I'm doing this. Every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. I'm doing this. If that works for you, great. If it doesn't, recognize structure and consistency come in lots of different shapes and sizes. So if you've been struggling to get into any kind of a routine that feels consistent, I want you to ask yourself, what can you release from those expectations? Instead of saying, I'm going to work out or go for a run every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m., maybe you say, I'm going to get 30 minutes of exercise in 3 days a week. If you are doing something for your business where you are saying, you know what, maybe you've said, I am going to follow up with 5 of my customers every single day. Maybe instead you can say, I'm going to make sure I follow up with 25 customers a week. And so, yes, you're still going to be doing the things that are important, but you're releasing a little bit of those boundaries, a little bit of those constraints. You are still having the structure because you're going to commit to doing it every week, but consistency for you might look different than consistency for somebody else. So I hope that you have found this helpful. I would love to hear from those of you that have been struggling to feel like you're consistent, to feel like a failure because you didn't do that thing 2 Tuesdays in a row. If now there's a way that you can reframe what this is going to look like for you, that gets you excited about doing this again. So let me know what you're going to be changing up. Let me know what consistency is going to look like for you. And hey, if you haven't come in and joined the free Work-Life Harmony group on Facebook, come on in. It's open to absolutely everyone. We run a fun challenge in there that's totally free every single month. Again, I'm not going to tell you what week of the month because it changes month to month on what works with my schedule. I do show up just about every Wednesday in the group live for training, but I give myself the grace to say, maybe on a particular Wednesday, it isn't going to happen. But no matter what, we have a great time in that group. And this is where we all pull together to share tips and ideas that are working for us. So I hope you have a great week. I hope you can now set forth into thinking about consistency a little bit different than how you've thought about it before.